Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and it's time to see which CTP is best for Thor, because I've been getting this question a lot lately, and so I wanted to run him through some tests now to see what the best option is for him. So we're rocking a CTP of Judgment. We're going to be testing a couple of different bosses here, but mainly we're going to be testing the big ones, Dormammu, GBR, and then the World Boss Legends, because there are definitely pros and cons to each CTP depending on the game mode. I'm only going to be testing Judgment versus Rage. Judgment has the advantage of being able to be, mighty and brilliant via the reforging process. I don't have the, well, I do have actually some mighty judgments, but I usually don't test characters with that, and I usually don't equip them. So we're just going to go with the generic ones. Now, what I think is going to happen, of course, speculation is always important with these types of tests. Bang. Okay, so that's pretty good. 55 seconds. This is a solo, so he's got less HP. But 55 seconds on the very first phase is pretty good. We're not going to do the whole of phase 2 just because I want to keep this video under, 35 minutes. We're just going to go until the 20 bar mark on phase 2. Now, it's important to test phase 2. For those of you wondering why I didn't just stop after phase 1, it's important to test phase 2 because phase 2 is where Rage seems to do much better than Energy or Judgment, because now that you don't have Pierce, that synergy is gone, and you're just doing the sort of raw damage of what the CTP allows. So that's why I'm testing both phases. Whoa, the purple thing is not supposed to be on that side. But yeah, we're doing pretty good so far. About 6.5 bars in. Sometimes the tier 3 triggers the next proc with those hits there, which I don't like, because then it sort of delays me and puts me in like this weird rotation, as you can see. I just procced my next proc. So yeah, there are a couple of quirks with Thor's rotation overall that are a bit how do I say, awkward. But yeah, most of his damage, as you can see, at least with the Judgment so far, is coming from his tier 3. It's a lot of damage, but it does mean that in between, he does seem a little bit human. He doesn't seem quite so mighty. Yeah, just barely. Well, no, that's about a bar. About a bar on his regular rotation. But the thing is, the regular rotation only comes around every 10 seconds. That's right. It's not a 7-second rotation like other characters. Okay, and then I almost tied. Nice. Yeah, that's not good. See here, let's heal up. I know I canceled 5 a little early. Really don't want to die on this run here, but we're getting close to the end, so I'm just going to speed ourselves up, use that second skill to get away. I think it's going to be one more tier 3. We are canceling 5 right away just so we proc on 4, sort of, so to speak. But, yeah, we should be done here. So it's going to take us about 3 minutes and 25 seconds, I would say. Yeah, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, next test here is going to be Mephisto stage 39. And for this one, we're going to go all out. We're going to give him a good leadership, good support, and see how he fares. This should be quite fast, but who knows? Is Rage actually going to compete? Is it going to keep up? Is it going to be slower? So there we go. 18-second phase 1. I like it a lot. Let's see how phase 2 fares. Yeah, in general, some people delay cancel 5 a lot more, but I prefer to just let it all go on 4. I feel like overall 4 has just a little bit more damage, and I'd rather get that than play out 5. And then either, if you play out 5 more, it's fine. Like, you get different damage and you can actually cancel it. But the thing with 5, I find, is that if you let it play out, then you end up proccing on 4. And that's not the point either, sort of thing. Almost had enough to push him out of that phase. If I had built up the tier 3, I could have popped it there. But we'll play this safe and sort of, we'll see if Rage ends up triggering one of the Rage meters, because that's an important gauge as well, right? If you're doing so much damage that you're skipping the Rage timer, we still have. Oh no, we just ran out of accumulation. That's unfortunate, but I think that's fine. Ooh, okay. We missed our proc. I think it's fine still. We're doing good damage. Gonna pop this. Oh, wow. Really good damage. Wow. Yeah, dude. Just keep piling out. 1 and 2 do good enough damage on their own. Like, look at that. I'm just going to run it. Boom. 101, baby. 101 seconds. I love it. That was almost a 100-second challenge. That was really, really good. Last test, and probably the most difficult test we're going to do, is stage 40 of Ultron. And he can actually go all the way up to stage 45, or 44, excuse me, of Ultron with just level 80. So I'm very excited for this one. But I wanted to test this one specifically because I've always wondered if Rage does better on Ultron specifically, because he has such little HP compared to other bosses, right? He only has 30 bars. But on the flip side, he has such high defense. So I'm very, very curious to see what will happen. We canceled 4 into 5 right away because I thought he was going to go into his next phase, and I just wanted to charge up the tier 3 faster. So unfortunately, we're popping this off without accumulation, which I can see now was the wrong choice. But we'll live with it for the time being. I just want to do as much damage as possible before he does the next the next iframe. So you want to chain iframes at that point. What is he doing? He's like targeting nothing. He's so weird. He's such a weird Ultron's such a weird dude. He's targeting nothing. I'm not there, dude. Okay, so 1 minute in and we've done almost half of his HP. I like this speed a lot. And he's destroying stage 40, whereas like level 80 is so crazy for Ultron specifically. Like, look at this damage. It's nuts, dude. That's like 5 bars of damage or more. Really, really nice. I canceled 4 before 5. That was kind of dumb. We just did barely too little damage to not trigger the invincibility. There, I just triggered the invincibility bubble. That's a little bit unfortunate. You want to trigger the invincibility bubble before he goes into iframe, before he does this energy thing, so that you can do damage to him later, right? I'm not going to be able to squeeze in a ton of damage, but I should be able to squeeze in a tier 3 if I just spam part of the tier 3 anyways, which is important to squeeze in some damage here because he's going into optimization. So we're just going to spam everything. Our judgment proc was a little late, so we only got like 5.5 bars out. But yeah, 2 minutes in and we triggered our first optimization, which I think is pretty good. No, there's not enough lightning damage. Dang, Beta Ray Bill, come on, buddy. And his awakening is not an iframe. We let 5 cancel into, like, I delayed the cancel because I wanted to do more damage because I want to see if I could kill him here. It seems like we're going to be just a little short. Nope. Nice. 236 remaining. So he did that in 224. That's awesome. So now we have our baseline with a CTP of Judgment for how much damage he's doing at level 80 with a ton of Pierce. Now we're going to go ahead and swap his CTP over to a Rage and see how he performs. Here we go. Rage CTP testing. Let us see how the most popular non-reforgeable CTP does here against the almighty Dormammu. Now, the thing to know, the really important thing to be watching is the proc, because Rage only procs when you crit, and Thor does not have guaranteed crit rate. And guaranteed crit rate is usually the thing we look for in characters to judge whether or not they are good with a Rage and good for a Rage, so to speak. So his procs right now have been quite consistent. They're pretty consistent with the Judgment as well, but the fact that he doesn't have guaranteed crit rate is an important factor in seeing that it does pretty well for him. We're quite close here, so I'm just going to push with just random skills. Okay, awesome. So that was 5 seconds slower in phase 1 than the Judgment. Let's see how phase 2 shakes out for Thor now that we don't have to worry about that. We can push the tier 3. We can. Okay, we're off proc here. Probably a horrible idea. Yep. Okay, the proc was a little bit delayed there, but I think we get slightly better damage here. Oh yeah. Okay, we procced our insight, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. No rage proc. Still no. Okay, see there, you're starting to see a little bit of inconsistency with the rage proc taking a little too long to activate. It's kind of a good thing because it lets you align his 5th and 4th skill cooldowns better. So it's kind of a weird bonus. Like if his rage proc is kind of late, that's actually kind of a good thing. But yeah, you can see he pops off way harder with the tier 3 now. Yeah. Yeah, we're already only 6 bars away. Okay, there, our proc was early. We're just going to play it out anyways. Hopefully it doesn't trigger. I was hoping it wouldn't trigger the next proc. But yo, his damage. Look at his damage on 1 and 2. It's actually, like, good enough. I'm going to pop the tier 3 here, and we should be done. Yeah, so that took 2.5 minutes. All right, here is where I do expect to see some loss in time. If we can clear it in 100 seconds, I would be ecstatic, but I kind of doubt it just because of that juicy chain hit synergy. We are going to run away from that thing because it does guard break us, so it would have locked us up and stopped us from attacking anyways. Oh, we're already in the next phase. It's a little bit slower, but barely. No rage proc just yet. Okay, it was a little late there, but it allowed me to cancel 5 into 4, which, as we've said, is actually a good thing. I know I sound biased in favor of rage. Bro, he cutscened me? Oh my gosh, we just lost like so many bars of damage because he cutscened me. Okay, we do also trigger a rage mode here, which is good because remember, we lost time in the previous test to the same thing. So this is good for the sake of balancing. But we are a little bit behind for sure. But we're absolutely not going to pop the tier 3 here. Okay, let's see what happens. I don't know. I don't think we're going to do it. I don't think we're going to clear this with, you know, with 101 seconds. But I think it's going to be kind of close. We're going to pop 5 and 4 for the buffs and then rip it. Oh, just a casual 15 bars. No big. We're going to iframe here so that he doesn't do that purple attack. I love how he has the iframe on 5. It really allows you to play with the boss's targeting. And I think we're just going to do what we did before, which is just keep attacking him, even though we're going to get stunned here. We just need to move around him. I can't move around him. And then pop the tier 3. Wow. Wow. That was actually 1 second faster. That was 99 seconds or 98 seconds. It was a couple seconds faster. Wow. Now, if there's anyone out there who has Thor level 80 and has very little pierce, if you have the crystals and you can test this, I would love to know if he performs better with a rage than a judgment, the same way that it seems he is for me. I don't want to come to the conclusion just yet, but with only 1 test remaining, it's highly unlikely that that the judgment is going to outperform here. We're going to chain iframes here just to charge up more of our proc, or tier 3 proc, because we know he's going to be going into this now. I think he's going to cutscene me right after, so we don't have to worry too much about interrupting his optimization. But I think we can squeeze in a skill to make sure our tier 3 is ready to go. Nice. All right, looks so cool. Now this is actually going to delay us a little bit more, because I believe the purple thing waits for the animation to be over, which is kind of funny. But actually, I didn't even really need to pop that 5th skill, because I was going to pop it again before anyways, just because you want the accumulation. That tier 3, that rage proc was delayed. I'm going a little fast here. That rage proc was delayed, I noticed, but it allowed me to use the 1 and the 2. Oh yeah, man, this feels really good. You actually want the proc to be delayed, because then it allows you to line up your skills better. It's such a weird thing to say, that you want the... okay, I'm stuck in an animation here. It's pretty annoying. We just want to trigger his invincibility here, because we won't be able to pop off full damage. Like, even if I had charged up the tier 3 properly with the rotation, he would stop us at the invincibility. But yeah, we're 100 seconds in, whereas the old clear was 224. I'm feeling pretty good about Rage right now. And yes, I am biased. I did want Rage to be better than Judgment. because it's just been kind of in the gutter for a while. I got an extra bar's worth of damage compared to when I did this before, but my rage proc did trigger right away, whereas the judgment proc hadn't. I really wish Beta Ray Bill had more residual damage. Oh boy. And Ebony's so slow. Okay, we got him now. So unfortunately, this actually ends up being about the same time. I believe this is actually slower. Yeah, I wonder why. Wow, that's actually slower. So that's 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Wow. This is so interesting. So GBR was a minute faster. GBR was a minute faster. Mephisto was a couple of seconds faster, so we can call it equal. And then Ultron was actually slower by about 8 seconds. Again, I'm not 100% sure why it was slower. I think no, but both runs had both of the purple dimension energy beams to dodge. I think maybe I lost about 5 seconds when I was going through that 5th skill animation, and we were just like waiting for it to finish before Ultron would trigger his next phase animation. But yeah, I think it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought Rage was going to be a clean sweep, faster in all three game modes, and I think that's what level 80 is sort of trying to tell us. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because a lot of players want the flexibility of Judgment or Rage, but Judgment does seem to be, or Rage seems to be edging out Judgment, especially for GBR. Like 1 minute faster is way too fast to ignore, and that is before tier 4, right? And the reason why I bring this up before tier 4 is because a lot of players have pointed out Thor already has a lot of lightning damage. And then if you bring along Beta Ray Bill lead, that's another 60%, or you bring along Ancient One, that's another 40%, or Storm, or Jane Foster, he gets a lot of lightning damage, right? Elemental damage. And then for his tier 4, again, you might not get into tier 4, so this might not matter to you, but his tier 4 increases his elemental damage even more. It increases it by 50% at level 1. That 50% is going to go up when you use a level 5 or level 6 striker, just like we showed for Iron Man's buff and Moon Knight's. So he's going to be well over 100, possibly well over 200% elemental damage. That's before you factor in a judgment. Now, some people say the elemental cap is 255%. Some people say there is no cap for it. Some people argue that there's diminishing returns, and the first 200% elemental damage boost you get is much better than the next 200. That kind of falls in line with a lot of ARPG calculations and formulas that we see in other games, and it sort of falls in line with what we see in MFF. The first 10% pierce feels like an insane buff. The next 10% pierce is good too, but it's not quite as insane as the first 10%, right? Or the first 5% compared to the next 5%, going from 0 to 5 versus 5 to 10. So yeah, all of that is to say, Rage might be better for Judgment for Thor, especially if you're taking him to tier 4. Incidentally, that rhymes. Anywho, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this testing. I'm going to keep this on him for the time being, especially till we get to tier 4 and see how hard we can rip it. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.